You know that feeling when you're trying so hard to convince someone you're sane, but everything you say just makes you sound crazier? Well, today we're jumping right into that feeling. We're getting inside the head of one of literature's most chillingly unreliable narrators in Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart. And let me tell you, it's a story that proves the most terrifying monsters aren't ghosts or goblins, they're lurking right inside our own minds. So, right off the bat, this is his plea. I'm not mad. He's practically begging us, looking right at you and me, trying to convince us. It's like Poe just made us the jury in this man's trial of sanity. And our narrator? He's about to present his big case, with his own meticulous actions as Exhibit A. But, spoiler alert, we're gonna see that every single piece of proof he offers just digs him into a deeper hole. All right, so what's his first exhibit in this case? For his sanity? A motive. And it's a weird one. It's not greed, not revenge. In fact, he insists he loved the old man. No, the entire problem he claims, the whole reason for all this, comes down to one thing: the old man's eye. And we're not just talking about some physical flaw here like a cataract. To our narrator, this vulture eye is so much more. It becomes this massive symbol of, well, of judgment. It's like it's always watching him, always seeing a truth about him that he just can't stand. It's a constant surveillance that he feels he absolutely has to destroy. But, it gets even deeper than that. That pale blue filmed over eye, it's a constant, terrifying reminder of death. It isn't just looking at him, it's showing him the decay and mortality he fears most. And that fear, that becomes the engine for this whole horrifying story. Okay, next up, the cunning lantern, the illusion of control. So he's laid out his motive, the eye. Now he moves on to his next piece of evidence, how he did it. He is absolutely convinced that the way he planned everything, the sheer precision of it all, proves he's not mad. No, to him it's proof that he's a genius who's in total control. And this is where his logic just goes completely off the rails. Think about it. The tool he uses, a lantern, is basically a mechanical, cold version of the very eye he hates so much. He can control the lantern, right? He decides when to open it, where the light shines. And in his twisted mind, controlling this fake eye means he has power over the real one. It's just a tragic confusion of calculation for sanity. And get this wasn't some impulsive act. Oh no, it was a full-blown ritual. For 7 straight nights, he practices, he sneaks in, but he can't do the deed because the eye's always closed. And his lantern stays closed too, mirroring it. But then comes the 8th night. The moment arrives. He opens the lantern and a single ray of light falls right on the now open vulture eye. This perfect synchronization, that isn't sanity. That's the climax of a meticulous, terrifying obsession. But even as he thinks he's committed the perfect crime, something else starts to stir. All that quiet calculation begins to give way to this rising terror from within. And this, right here, is the turning point. The story shifts from being about a man against an eye to a man at war with himself. This is really the core of the whole story, no pun intended. It's a battle raging inside him. On one side, you've got the eye, which for him represents cold, calculated reason and control. But on the other side, you have the heart. And the heart is everything he can't control. Raw passion, his subconscious, and most importantly, this deep, intuitive guilt that no amount of logic can ever erase. And in the end, it just doesn't matter how perfect his plan was. He could control the lantern, but he can't control his own heart. The beating begins, a sound that exists only for him. And that sound is going to be his downfall. So, with the old man gone, our narrator moves to the final act of his perfect crime, concealment. He dismembers the body and he hides it all under the floorboards. But this physical act is really just a metaphor for what he's trying to do in his own head, to bury his conscience. So, the floorboards become this powerful symbol. He thinks, if I can hide the body where no one can see it, then I can hide my guilt where even I can't feel it. He truly believes he can just shove it down, repress it, and move on. But, well, the mind just doesn't work like that, does it? Yeah, you just can't bury something like that and expect it to stay put. His whole attempt at repression backfires, big time. The guilt doesn't stay hidden, it starts to seep through the cracks of his mind, and it transforms into a sound, that phantom beating of a dead man's heart, a sound that's going to betray him from the inside out. And just when he thinks he's gotten away with it, there's a knock at the door. It's the police, they're polite, they're professional, and they have no idea what's really happened. But to our narrator, their calm demeanor feels like an accusation. Their presence is the final trigger that completely shatters his composure, forcing the secret he buried to claw its way out.
Picture this. He's so confident, he actually brings chairs for the officers and has them sit right over the spot where the body is hidden. And as he's chatting away, it starts. A dull, low thumping. He tries to ignore it, starts talking louder, more energetically, but it's no use. The sound of his own guilt is growing.
The thumping just grows, this maddening rhythm that only he can hear. He starts to panic. He's thinking, surely they can hear it too. Are they mocking me? He sees accusation in their calm smiles. With every single beat of that phantom heart, his reality is unraveling. And then he just breaks. The internal pressure becomes way too much. The dam of his sanity shatters, and the confession just erupts from him in a scream. The very truth he tried to nail down under the floorboards explodes right out into the open. So, what's the ultimate lesson here? I think it's pretty clear. Some truths just refuse to be buried. You can hide the evidence, you can rationalize the crime, but you absolutely cannot silence your own conscience. Guilt has a heartbeat, and eventually, everyone will hear it. And that leaves us with one last pretty unsettling thought. The narrator used logic, planning, and reason every step of the way to justify his horrific actions, which really makes you ask the question, if our own rational minds can be twisted to serve our deepest madness, what part of ourselves can we truly ever trust?